it's Adria and welcome back to my dead channel. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about friendships and being a recluse and not keeping friends very well because that's a mood. A while ago, I did a video about jobs and social anxiety. Before we really get into this video, I just want to say you don't necessarily have to have anxiety for any of this to apply to you. You could just be a shy person, maybe a more quirky person. You could have something else. I don't know. I'm just sort of speaking from my own experience of hashtag growing up with anxiety. For as long as I can remember, I was never really any good at talking to people, knowing what to say, how to say it. I was always afraid of sounding stupid. Here's just my general advice for making friends and a bit of why I don't have friends. Why would you take advice from someone that doesn't have friends? See, that's the thing, is like I know how to make friends, I just don't do it. I like to step on my own feet and ruin my own life. That's the thing. When I was a kid, I was never really good at keeping friends. I knew somewhere along the line we probably wouldn't be friends anymore. I wouldn't reach out, I would just lose contact, I would cancel plans. I was that person. I know that I'm a bad friend. I just know that, and I have to tell myself, like, girl, don't be so hard on yourself. I try not to let my anxiety stop me from being a good person. Something that I've heard is like, well, people just use anxiety or depression as an excuse to be a terrible person. Not an excuse, it kind of just gets in the way of my life sometimes. I'm aware that I'm a terrible friend. That's why I try not to talk to people, because I'm like, well, I'm probably just gonna disappoint them anyway. When I think back to my childhood, I remember having best friends and people that were my friends, but I feel like once it got to like middle school, I became way more anxious. I had a knee injury that kept me out of school for a lot of months, so going to school became a lot harder for me. I just kept to myself. I was just kind of a weird kid. I guess I never really felt like I fit in, and I know that's really cliche. I feel like everyone feels that way. It's a kid thing. When I was in elementary school, friends would call my home phone, because back in the day, you had to call the landline. Yeah, friends would call and they would leave messages on my answering machine.
Please hang up and try again.
What's an answering machine, you old lady? And of course, my mom would hear it. It wouldn't be like nowadays where you have your own personal phone and no one knows who calls you. Hey, Adrian, why don't you call your friend back? And I'd be like,
when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
So I've never liked the phone. That's nothing new. Don't give me a phone. I don't want to be the person that was like, I never had friends, I never had any friends, because I definitely did have people that I considered my friends, but I was the person that I would be friends with you at school, and very rarely would I want to do things outside of school. Always making excuses like, I don't think my mom would let me. Or other times I would just straight up be like, I don't know. Yeah, I want to hang out with them, I want to see them, and then the day will come and you'll start freaking out and panicking and you'll just cancel. You feel like the biggest a-hole ever and you hate yourself. You feel worse than you would have if you would have just went. Just remember the feeling of disappointment if you flake out. I know that feeling all too well, and it's just, what if I had gone? What if I had just let myself have a good time? You'll never know. If you don't go, you'll never shine. If you don't glow. Highlight. Okay, I actually like stood up a date from doing that once, and to this day I still feel bad about that because it's just, it's so weird because you'll want, my necklace is like, hello. You'll want to do it, you'll want to go, you'll be like, yeah man, let's go, but then the time will come and you'll just be like, no! I mean, I remember one time Brandon and I were going to the movies. In the car I just started having like an anxiety attack, and it was brought on by nothing, and as much as I wanted to go, it was a physical response. Like if you had just thrown up or something. I don't know, I just couldn't do it. And he was like, okay, let's not go. Maybe you have a friend like this, or maybe you know someone like this, a sibling or a family member. Just know that it's not them being flaky, it's not them being mean. I mean, I don't want to play the victim card and be like, it's so hard on me, but it really is. It's probably harder on me than it is on you. Unless you like rented a horse and carriage or something, then I'd understand why you're kind of mad. It's never because I wanted to, and I feel like I've lost so many friendships because of my terrible communication skills. No, brain, stop, shut off. Stop playing Candy Crush at 2 in the morning and go to bed. Like, what are you doing, brain? I've been in a depressive funk for a few weeks now. I feel like I'm finally family out of it. Like today I'm like, yeah man, I'm gonna film. I feel great. I got my plushy friends all around me. This is a good day, man. Amongst that, I kind of realized how alone I am, how much I've just kind of isolated myself and not reached out to people. And there are days I don't even call my own family. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna FaceTime my Nana today, and then I just don't do it. That's my own family, and I can't even bring myself to do it some days. Ugh. It's a thing. I've had people think that I'm just a terrible person. Not family. It's a stressful thing. But I definitely, my biggest advice would be if you struggle with this, the more you do it, the less anxiety inducing it is. People with anxiety kind of like a routine. They kind of like to do the same thing. So if you kind of make a routine of talking to people you care about each day, then you'll be used to it and it won't seem so scary. Set little goals for yourself. And I find that if I say it out loud, I'm more likely to do it. Adria, I used to have friends, but I've kind of closed myself off and isolated myself and I feel like nobody cares about me. How do I make friends and or reconnect with my old friends? I'm glad you asked. Me. I tell myself all the time that if we were friends at one point, there's probably a part of them that still cares about me, just like I do about them. Someone I haven't talked to in years suddenly texted me or called me. I would be like, oh my gosh, yes, at least I feel this way. I kind of hold special places in my heart for people that I became close with at some point. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it's been so long, I don't really care. Like, it's a lot harder in your 20s to keep friends. Have no fear. Your fellow hermit crab is here. I don't really have friends either, and I think something important to remember is to kind of be your own friend. And I know that sounds really corny and dumb. If you're okay with yourself and the person that you are, and you like yourself, like you genuinely like yourself and you're happy with where you're at, people will want to be around you. People will flock to you. If you're just if you're just going through life like chances are people are kind of propelled the other way. And I think that was me. That was me for a lot of my life. I know I wasn't a likable person. I'm surprised my own mom even liked me, if I'm being honest. You know, I look back at my younger years, I don't even blame people for not liking me because I didn't like myself. I hated myself, girl. I didn't care about anything. I didn't have a sense of humor. I was a stick in the mud. I was an anxious mess. So no one's gonna want to really be friends with that. Not too surprising. Just kind of do some self-reflecting. Maybe think of ways you could meet friends, because as an adult, it is a lot harder. Believe me, if you feel compelled to reach out to people you were once close with, I definitely recommend to do that. You know, you never know what might happen. And if you're someone that suffers with anxiety, don't be too hard on yourself. And people that care about you and value you as a friend will totally understand that. And if they don't, then, you know, I mean, it's a weird thing to understand unless you go through it. If somebody just flaked on me out of nowhere, I'd be like, what? I mean, at least you're not as pathetic as me with only stuffed animals as your friends. Yeah, it's okay to not have friends, and it's weird because I was saying this the other day on my YouNow. If you don't follow me on YouNow, you should, because I do live broadcasts every now and again. I was saying how people my age are either married and having kids, or they're like partying and getting drunk all the time, and I fall into neither one of those categories. I'm a bit of a outsider in my age group, and that's okay. Like, I play The Sims, I make YouTube videos. It's okay to be at a different spot in your life. Be your own friend. You know, just be good to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Friendship goes two ways. I can't be the only one trying to do it. So that's another thing to remember. If you're the only one trying to hold it together, why can't I snap anymore? There. If you guys want me to cover any other topics like this, like anxiety, school, making YouTube videos, like, I don't know, whatever it is, not even anxiety, just like hashtag relatable advice, whatever. Definitely leave your thoughts and your comments down below. Today's YouTube comment of the day comes from Savannah Bishop, and she says, I've been watching you for a few years. I'm so happy to see that you're still on here. I've been watching since the video of you and Brandon meeting. Oh, thank you, Savannah. If you would like to be featured as the comment person of the day, leave a comment on my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, anywhere, and I'll just pick a random comment every now and again. I don't know, that's a thing, I guess. I guess we could start doing that, right? So thank you guys so much for watching today. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a like and leave your thoughts and feels down below. If you have anything else you would like to add to this, don't hesitate. Go on, girl, do it. I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Goodbye.